R.I.P.D. stars Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds.
Stop it. Stop talking.
A Boston cop who's killed by his partner and sent to the Rest in Peace department. An afterlife system designed to keep some sort of checks and balance system. But basically it's Men in Black, so just think it's Men in Black. Without the charm or good script. Pop Tot, R.I.P.D. was your pick. What did you think of this movie?
It's a 2013 movie. It might as well be a 2003 movie because the CGI is really dated.
Oh yeah.
Like if you've seen the original Men in Black, which was years before this, the CGI is much better. For some reason, they went low rent on the actual CGI in this movie. Jeff Bridges, it's like when they hired him, they said, we need you to turn Jeff Bridges up to a 12.
Up to a 12.
Marshal Roycephus Pulsifer, tuneful way for you to spend what may be your last moments.
At some point, it just seemed like he was being overly Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds was being overly Ryan Reynolds.
His accent is, I mean, he might be one of the better parts of this movie, but his accent is absolutely crazy. It definitely gets a little annoying.
I knock, you do the cards.
He was actually supposed to play his character completely serious, and he didn't want to. He wanted to add a little bit of comedy to it.
Apparently Zach Galifianakis was up for his role for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand it. The movie was a monumental failure. I was unfortunate enough to see it in theaters when it came out. It has a 12 on Rotten Tomatoes. It made $78 million on a $140 million budget. Jeff Bridges talks kindly of the movie, but says that the studio basically ruined it, and it's very easy to see. The movie, it has some good concepts.
It does.
But it's so poorly executed.
It's very much a ripoff of Men in Black, but with a Ghostbusters vibe to it. I do like the concept. I do like Mary Louise Parker. It was the proctor. She was like the lieutenant. This was based off of a Dark Horse comic, which I was a huge fan of Dark Horse comics. Relatively great IP to bring to the movie theater, but it felt like it was kind of rushed. Well, and at the same time, it bombed because they put it out against Pacific Rim.
Yeah. Well, and there's going to be some irony in this because you brought up Pacific Rim, but it's not a great IP to have such a gigantic budget where you have to make $300 million. And Pacific Rim basically came out of nowhere, but big monster movies sells very well overseas, and it did well enough to get another sequel. R.I.P.D. ironically got another sequel with Jeffrey Donovan from Michael from Burn Notice, but it went direct to DVD and apparently was even worse. I don't know. I never obviously gave the time to watch it.
I saw the trailer for it and I'm like, that's a skip.
Hell, Roy. We send them to hell.
Oh! That was unexpected.
I think the movie, it's not directed poorly. There's some, like, the ways the camera moves and stuff is kind of interesting. They try to do some interesting things, but the script's terrible. It's not very good. I hate
it's like the minute you meet Kevin Bacon's character,
he's bad
like
guy.
bad guy.
Well, it's bothering me too. So let's grow old and poor together.
Red alert! 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 Red alert!
Like all movies like this, including all the Ghostbusters and all the Men in Black, there's always a MacGuffin. There's always, in this case, it's like some sort of
there's technically
gold
two
penis that pulls all the dead people back onto Earth.
There's technically two. The one that they use to sort of stop time, and then the gold.
But it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard. Oh my God, it looks like a huge
Pecker!
Oh, yeah.
The movie really tries to have some sort of emotional resonance with the character, especially Ryan Reynolds' character, about how he won't ever see his wife again. And it doesn't work because the movie wants to also be funny.
Those coyotes.
You be careful
those
now.
coyotes who ate your bones and crapped out your face. In that story, the coyotes are the heroes.
Hey.
I think if they wanted to have that emotional resonance, they should have done something a lot smaller instead of this end of the world premise that's so overplayed.
Like they literally, the last shot was Boston, and you could see Boston was in ruins from this.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I would have thought that, the Eternals would have like reversed everything or something.
It's just, I mean, the movie's basically just constantly exposition, and they have all these rules about what they can and can't do.
The universe, in its ultimate wisdom, will not let you reveal yourself.
Tour is 100 years. You say yes, we'll send you back down to Boston.
You don't want people to know you're in the afterlife, but then you got monsters running around and basically end of day shit, so you're aware of the afterlife.
The dead rain down on the earth, that's it for the living world. Yep. Massive destruction. We broke it to pieces 3,000 years ago, now it's back. Till we get the rest of the gold, we're on red alert.
And you also look at the timeline of this. Ryan Reynolds' death in the real life.
Yeah.
To becoming an R.I.P.D. cop, to saving the world, and I think it's like 4 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Reasonable.
And the movie's 90 minutes, but it's very clunky. There's constantly characters telling you stuff, and
to them, you don't look like you don't sound like you. Hit a deado in the head with one of these, and it's got to be the head. Personally, I find the face most gratifying.
The movie opens with a lot of like cool way the camera is and the action scenes and stuff, but then they get to the exposition scene with the proctor talking to Ryan Reynolds, and it's this stale room, and it's just her telling him everything.
You're lucky, Nick. You have skills that we want, so we're giving you a choice. You can take your chances with judgment.
And it's just like, okay, well, can we do this while moving? Or, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009, and all the information was being dumped while characters were doing things. And you had all this information, your brain's dissecting it.
We ship them off back down to where they belong. Tour is 100 years. You say yes, we'll send you back down to Boston.
Your home turf.
Last night, there was an attack. 47 Klingon warbirds destroyed by Romulans, sir, and it was reported that the Romulans were in one massive ship.
I thought it was cool that they had avatars on Earth.
Yeah.
That you couldn't see.
Yeah,
so
it was a cool idea.
Ryan Reynolds' avatar on Earth was, the very famous James Hong.
Yeah.
And then the ever famous model at the time, Marissa Miller, was Roy's, which was kind of funny because everybody kept wolf whistle calling him and all that stuff.
And making all these very weird sexual jokes. Right. Yeah.
I know it's wrong, but the whole cowboy talk thing, it's kind of working for me.
Go to red alert. Go to red alert. Red alert. Red alert.
Again, there's just so much rip-off on this take of it.
Yeah, I think Men in Black, it does things better. It actually tried to do quite a few like practical effects that look better. The CGI looks better. I didn't really feel like there was a lot of chemistry here between the two leads. And
Is this you trying to sound like a cop? Because it throws up a lot of red flags for me.
Gotta learn the lingo, Umbrito.
He went from hard-nosed, old Western guy, lawman.
Oh, you got to earn that.
Couldn't take a partner to loving Ryan Reynolds within 4 days. So
and he had this hard-nosed thing about him, but he also talked more than Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds always complained about him talking too much, and it's like...
You know what? I've had it. I can't listen to one more self-righteous chestnut out of your mouth. I don't want to live in your weird past.
You're going to do this kind of pseudo John Wayne, Clint Eastwood thing. Why would you be the character that talks so much that the annoying guy, who's usually Ryan Reynolds, tells you to shut up?
You were solid. C+.
Stop talking.
Stop doing my job.
Stop it. Stop talking.
There's one scene in the movie that had a chance to really hit home that emotional part of him leaving his wife, and they're at this track and she's some sort of marathon runner or something. It's just sold so poorly between Jeff Bridges and him, and it's just you can't go back.
She needs to survive you, meet someone new, maybe have a family, because you are not coming back ever.
And then it falls into, well, we're not selling the emotional point, so here's a bunch of jokes about the coyotes having sex with my carcass.
One of them coyotes, he made love to my skull.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh. The comment he made to Roy's character about the skull effing.
It's very...
that's pretty harsh.
You know what that practice is commonly called?
I do. And I certainly hope he got both eyes, Roy.
Red alert! Red alert! Red alert! Red alert!
Bothered me from a filmmaking standpoint, but right after that, they're sitting on the pier, and there's a shot where they break the horizontal or 180 rule or whatever, where Jeff Bridges is looking to the left, but then Ryan Reynolds is also looking to the left, but they're talking to each other.
Suspendato. They want me back, they're gonna have to beg.
I'm not gonna take this line down.
It drove me nuts. As usual on Lost and Found, we rate things by loss. You just leave it to the massive streaming black hole that is all these services. Or Found, you seek it out on a weekend watch like we often do and enjoy. Pop Tot, where are we putting R.I.P.D.?
Well, you know, despite all the negativity, I'm gonna say I would watch it, and it's
interesting, huh?
It's only because
2 balls. What is that? That looks just like an enormous wang.
It's been a decade since I've seen it, and I wasn't mad at it, and there was some funny moments for me. There was the touching kind of ghost-like moment, ghost moment at the end where his wife and him got to see each other. Maybe I'm saying this from we just watched Steven Seagal for an entire month.
I think so, yeah.
And maybe I'm just coming off a high where there's actually some competence in a movie, but if it was on or I'm bored on a Saturday and Aunt Vicky's stopping by, I'm gonna watch it. Probably.
I'm not a big fan of this movie.
Did you cry?
It's formulaic. The CGI is dated. It costs too much. Men in Black is just so much better. It's Ryan Reynolds trying to do dramatic stuff, but doesn't really work. And Jeff Bridges is, a generational actor, just like his dad.
The morale on this base is shot to hell. Just look out there. Quiet. Hardly a man moving.
And it's just okay. It might be the better part of this movie.
I'm not a piece of meat put on this earth for your gratification. I'm a woman.
He did have the absolute best part in this movie when they are describing this god-awful MacGuffin.
Fur and Walker brought in are part of an incredibly dangerous artifact known as the Staff of Jericho.
And he says,
Why would someone make something like that?
And that was pretty funny. I was going to mention that earlier, but you're right. That was great. The Jeff Bridges character, and they're in the internal hall, and he's yelling. He's like,
and now everything I've done is being threatened because of some ancient totem port for kicks by some asshole 5,000 years ago.
I don't know. So I'll have to agree to disagree on this one with you. But as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. Battling through the Seagal month with us. We'll keep firing off good movies in search of finding a good or great movie. Be sure to leave your recommendations. I want to try to take a recommendation here soon, so fire those off in the comments. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, maybe have Aunt Vicky watch this. It depends on if Aunt Vicky has enough time in her life to sit through 300 seconds of commercial time on Peacock. What the hell, Peacock?
That this is all a result of you fucking me.
There was so much pharmaceutical.
Aunt Vicky doesn't have much time left, and she doesn't need to see boner pills.
I didn't know if you had colon cancer, you could take a pill that gave you kidney cancer.
God.
That's good Lord.
Oh, it was so long. Yeah, Ooh. So maybe pick it up in a $5 bin, whatever. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
One of them coyotes, he made love to my skull.